Again, I would like to welcome everyone. Let's continue. Our topic is brand management, basics and challenges. So for this specified topic, we have invited our speaker who is actually working on brand management since last 8 years. That is Mr. Falguni Sharma. He has completed his master's in pharmacy with specialization in pharmaceutics in 2014. He's having expertise in analyzing the nature and scope of brand by reviewing their specification, requirements, market trends, current market trends, and sales performance. He has started his career with Aristo Pharma in business development for 2 years. Then he was collaborated with Ozone Pharma for marketing training. Then he has also started one venture that is Jan Aushadhi Customer Engagement Program, and currently he's a product manager at Jagsanpal Pharmaceuticals Limited. So we welcome you, sir. Welcome to our webinar, sir. And for now, I would like to request you to continue to start with your talk. So over to you, sir.
Sir, kindly unmute yourself, sir. Falguni Sharma ji.
Yeah, sure. So thank you very much, ma'am, for welcoming on this welcoming note or having me on this particular platform to share the experience, particularly that during this journey of 8 years, what I covered, what is my experience and learnings, and to share the views clearly to get to that connection. It is right now. It is very good example that how we can connect easily in that manner, particularly like without any cause of moving here to there through these own platforms. So not taking so much of time, I will share the screen with all of you that for which particular topic we are going ahead. Yeah, I think the screen is visible to all.
Yes, sir, visible.
Okay, great. So as the brand management basics and challenges, today we are discussing about this. So what is brand basically? First, we have to understand what is the brand. What is the difference between a brand and a product? That number of things in the terms of services as a product we are having in our daily routine life. So how we perceive the things towards a particular brand or any input or kind of individuality. So in this module, we first learn what is brand versus product, and why do brands matter, and what is brand management. And next is describe a strategic brand management process, that how we proceed for particularly to develop a brand during the brand management process, and what makes brand strong and its challenges, and what is the upcoming future trends in the market. Okay. So here you can see there is a brand is what? That is a seller's promise to deliver the same bundle of benefit services consistently to the buyer. Means that's something which we are purchasing and looking for out. We create some perceived value about this. That why we need this, why we required actually. So it create a perception about that. There is some standards, some levels, particularly in terms of, you can say, the trust, the quality, and how being it is used. So that is a kind of promise which delivers a bundle of benefits consistently to the buyer, which make them their buyers to advocate this particular product, which becomes a brand actually. A product is any offering by company to the market that serves to satisfy customer needs and wants particularly. And a product can be object, service, or idea, anything, etc. On the other hand, if you see, a name becomes a brand when consumer associate it with a set of tangible and intangible benefits that they obtain from the product and services. So the brands are not as same as the products basically. Brands have create some equity later on after the belief of the customers. While product is any kind of service which you are not looking for so much about the quality, about the trust, thus you fulfill your needs when you required. That can be termed as a product particularly. But a word promise comes from any product or particular kind item. So that will term as a brand particularly, which will delivers to the customer in terms of promise. So if you talk about brand versus product, so GSK brands, you know very well the company GSK. So it promised trust and quality automatically. Like you know the name properly, Iodex, the brand name. It's earned its image from the opinion of its customer only. This stands for the stent pain relief. That is the positioning actually, which is developed by the customers upon their using. So that will instantly comes as instant pain relief. So that automatically comes in the mind. That is Iodex. That is what it trust and quality as a promise, which is delivered by the GSK. Iodex. It's just an example for the brand basically. So thus you can see the brands are what the consumers buy, while products are what concerns and companies make. Brand is always what we are looking for, why we required it. That is what consumers buy. While if you see the product is thing which companies make to have some benefit or gain something in terms of profit only. It would not delivers able to properly in terms of promise, engagement with the customer, while a brand is associated with the customer on their beliefs. A brand is a promise that the product will perform as per customers' expectations, or basically resulted in the form of quality, trust, anything on that particularly. A promise is always associated with a brand, which makes a belief on the customer's expectations. It is a name, term, sign, symbol, or a combination of all these things which differentiate the goods and services of one seller or group of sellers from those of competitors. Like if you say the example for Dolo, that is paracetamol. There are a number of paracetamols in the market particularly. Laxon, I have that. But Dolo creates something different in paracetamol itself that no one is giving. Their communication, particularly the information which they are giving or conceiving through their brand to the customers, or who are the customers are the doctors and the patients particularly. That why we use the Dolo 650 against any other paracetamol products. So that makes the difference about their communication. They tells about that 650 is required instead of any other 500 or any other combination to compensate particularly as an antipyretic along with the analgesic on that nature. And the most important thing, the brand. As a brand, apart from promise, definitely promise comes under the availability. If the availability is not proper or not that manner, so definitely your brand will get hampered. It will not able to recognize themselves. So definitely the availability is major concern in the pharmaceutical brand management, which makes a product or an item or particularly a name to become a brand. Okay. For example, if you heard about the brand Dex Orange, it is an iron syrup, and there are number of other iron syrup like Hemaf is there, Hemfer is there, Hepatoglobin is there. While so the total market for this iron syrup in India is of 950 crore rupees of market for this iron syrup only, in which Dex Orange of Franco India, no one knows about even the company also of Dex Orange, but the brand itself has value of around 350 crore, 350 crore from 950 crore rupees of market, and is still growing with a pace of more than 20%. So no one is aggressively even promoting. What makes them to grow? The first one is that the availability, the assurance about that, and being the older product, more than 30-year-old product it is. So the trust and quality develops automatically in that sense, and the promise which they delivers, as I said. So next move to why do brands matter? Why we require the brand, basically what matters for the brand, for which it matters for the company or the organizations is they made it. So brands have become important drivers of growth for any organization, goods or service. And the main reason consumer flock to some brands or ignore other is that behind the brand stands an unspoken promise value. That is something different, which create difference between a brand and a product particularly, which make a consumer to flock or ignore other things and to be focused on the promise what a brand gives them. A brand is promised that the product will perform as per the customer expectations, definitely. And a brand helps a mark and differentiate a good or service from others in the marketplace. That is how, if you see about the product Colgate, so if you see it, they're already having a positioning like Kare Sanso Ko Fresh. So definitely that positioning and their availability makes the people to aware as a brand awareness why they have to purchase it, what they are promising in the one instance. So a strong brand makes people aware of what the company presents and about the different offerings of the company. It makes particularly a clear-cut picture for a strong brand that where you are focusing, what you are delivering in terms of promise, that is very much apart from any other thing. Okay. And brand helps customer to connect the product or service on an emotional level. That is very important point. If someone develops a brand, particularly being a brand manager, definitely they have to create some emotional or social connect so that after having number of ups and downs in the market, definitely a buyer will purchase this particular brand because of their emotional connect, their belief on them, on this particular brand. So that is being developed by the brand managers in the market. Now comes to brand management, what it is, if you see. So you already briefed about the brand, what is brand, how it is. Now we'll talk about the brand management. The brand management is the process of building and managing and improving a brand. It is a process. Management always comes in the form of process. It is not a single entity always. Definitely we have to look out, dig out the things particularly. Before to do anything, we have to survey first that what we are looking for, why we need this on that particular, and what it delivers in terms of results, which is very important. So brand management is a process to build, basically to lay out the things, to create a structure, then manage it particularly, how we able to maintain it, and how we able to enhance it, improve a brand, to make our promise as strong as a brand. It begins by having a thorough knowledge of the term brand. Definitely, when we are looking for the brand, we have to work rigorously to develop a root, laying foundation for a brand, so that it will able to sustain in any kind of situation. So hence brand management includes developing a promise, making that promise and maintain it. Okay. It means defining a brand, positioning the brand, delivering the brand. It is an art of creating and sustaining a brand. That is a brand management actually. It is an creating and sustaining an art of creating and sustaining a brand. And if you talk about the positioning of brand, as mentioned already, it means defining the brand and positioning of brand. Positioning of brand created by the buyer only. that what buyer is looking for and delivering the same as a promise. So this is somehow the process for the brand management particularly. Now we move on further, strategic brand management. It's the strategic brand management if you look out. So first is the brand identity. Identity means a kind of any symbol, a name, a logo, or anything as a physical form. So that is the identity which has some representation. So brand itself always some identity. A product not always have some identities. They have some kind of perception only. But brand is always an identity. Like to talk about any in the segment of cars like BMW, Mercedes, they have the particular logo, the name particularly, which represents itself as a brand. In the pharma also you can see like GSK is there, Pfizer have there, Dolo, the brands like we recently talked about the Dolo, they have their identity particular. In pharma, the identifications for the brands is by their particular product packaging. What they are using it to identify their product in the market, to get recognized easily. Then identity implementation, sorry. So identity implementation means what? Basically, if somebody have their individuality, have some recognitions, being a name or the logo or the symbol, so where we have to use it and how we have to use it particularly. In that terms, the implementation comes particularly. In the follow-up further, it is followed by the brand strategy over the time. So later on, after developing a recognizable point, a brand manager develops the strategy that how we have to proceed to particularly manage this brand, how it will grow, where we have to target, what are the focus customers, and most important, what promise we are giving, which becomes automatically the identity of this brand. Then managing the brand portfolio. Later on, like on the brand strategy, we have some pros and cons, but definitely some wisdom, some positives and negatives, some merits, demerits. So we have to manage the both on that sense. So that can be managed on the basis of where we can expertise or use our creativity or our skills to manage that brand in terms of, you can say, like extension of any brand within the line, within the same specialty or the therapeutic area, or maybe the other with different positioning. So that will lead to leverage of the brand, that how we able to manage their life cycle of this particular brand. Definitely everything has their own life. Like you talk about any brand, I'm handling the brand Indocap, if you heard about Indomethacin, the NSAID, the only brand in the India with majorly contribution of more than 90%, that is Indocap. But still Indocap is lagging behind as far as concerned as a painkiller market. It's still we are contributing only 50 crore all over India on an annual basis. While if you see the market of others like Diclofenac, Cyclophenac, or the Zerodol SP, they have a market of more than 400, 300 crores. The reason is behind this. The Indomethacin itself, we first launched, when we launched this Indocap or Indocap SR sustainability, we focused on the positioning, and the positioning we developed is for the osteoarthritis pain only. And if you move towards the orthopedician segment, so this is a super specialty segment, definitely. They have definitely a newer ranges of the therapeutic areas, newer products, newer brands on a year basis. So definitely they use on extensive basis, but right now they are having some other newer or better brands as comparative to Indocap SR or Indocap in terms of osteoarthritis or pain. But being a NSAID, definitely Indocap, indomethacin, works in other pain areas also, like headache, joint pains, back pains, any other post-surgical pains. So it has a huge, tremendous effect as comparative to is aceclofenac or diclofenac. So here we have to work where we change our positioning from this particular specialty oriented to OTC as a general product. Okay, so that how we'll able to grow our brand in that manner with a particular change in the positioning. Definitely, monotony is being a challenge in this brand management because monotony will restrict your growth for a brand. So definitely we have to change our positioning as per the buyer's requirement. And these things will lead to the brand equity. Brand equity, if I tell you, it is a kind of asset, means something, a brand in terms of value, which gives to any firm or company, which developed in the form of assets. Okay, so this is the brand management in terms as far as concerned for the strategy, how we proceeded, how we have to first work. Now tracking product performance. Set performance objective first. Then select method of product evaluation, identify problem products, and decide how to eliminate the problems. So first, as you see, set performance objectives. If anything we developed and we launched in the market, so we have to track them, that how it is performing tier 2 to, like first we launch the product in metros, then moves to the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 cities, then to the rural. So every region have their own pros and cons. Every strategy in a single set is not able to achieve the things. So that is why we have to make our strategy little bit a kind of movement in this, particularly a changeable set. So first we have to set the performance objective, means what we are looking for, who are the sellers basically. Being a seller, what we are looking for, what we are thinking, that where we, what the objective we first understand. Then select the method of product evaluation, that how we evaluate for the objectives for which we are heading, means the number of parameters. Like first we go with the thing, if you talk about any brand, if we launch somewhere in the metro, in metro city, so first we look out what are the counters in particular areas where the prominent customers which support our brand particularly. So if they able to support our brand in a major area as a leader, key opinion leader, key opinion prescriber, so from them only we able to set our evaluation parameter, that what amount of business we will get in terms of brand and what promise we are delivering to our customer on that note. Okay, so through these parameters we are able to evaluate the product evaluation. Then identify the problem products. Definitely if something in the market, they have the problems, merits, demerits, both they have. No one is perfect 100%. So if the product is come, if problems is come, so we have to look out the problem, identify at what level it come, how it can be managed. If it is a quality issue, if it is issue on the promise, if the issues on the supply chain, if there are issues on the information. So first we have to look out where we get the problem. Then we have to act accordingly, that which particular concern department or particularly person able to handle it. Okay, then decide how to eliminate the problems Then we think of that how we can eliminate the problems. If the problem is related to any kind of information, any scientific or any promise, definitely we have to look out through the communication, through the proper communication. If any supply chain or logistic problems, so definitely we have to look out through the supply chain method. Is there anything we can change it out, or escaping the loop only? And the other thing, the quality aspect, the major concern. Is there anything that is quality in terms of trust or promise? So definitely we have to look out and set objectives, or we have to definitely change our objectives also for this particular problem. First, the important is the quality. For any brand, quality is the major concern. If you are not able to give the quality, which makes them a promise particularly, a hidden promise itself in a brand, that is quality. So definitely we have to look it out. We have to manage our brand image, particularly by taking a strong, hard steps against the quality. We have to stop the stocks. We have to recall it. Then we have to start identify the problem. Then again, we have to put our legs in the shoes and start the thing from inwards at the starting place with the proper set. Now analyzing the brand performance. How we have to analyze the brand performance? So there are a number of things through which we have to analyze. First, the product life cycle analysis, that how we start our product, what is the positioning, means what buyer is looking for, that is the positioning what we give it. Then how we will grow this particular brand region to region by improving their support in terms of information, in terms of content, in terms of the studies, in terms of quality, in terms of extensions. Then product grid analysis. Definitely we have to check either we can go for the extensions or inline extensions for any product or brand which we are looking for. If the growth is not optimized, then definitely we look out for the extension of the product. Then brand positioning maps. Definitely we'll change our positioning time to time, because definitely a buyer, not always a single mindset. They will change as nature change itself in which we are surviving. So the positioning will change as per the buyer, what they are looking for. Like right now, if I talk about Indocap, we are earlier considering as in osteoarthritis for pain management. But right now we change our position as a painkiller, as a normal painkiller, so that we can able to compete this brand with any other brand which is having the positioning of a painkiller. Like you can say Voveran, there is a brand over there, or diclofenac. So that if we change it, we can tap our potential. Standardization information services, that is very important part to manage the brand. If we have a proper backup in terms of quick responses in any kind of situation analysis, or to understand that and give them a proper solution in terms of information, in terms of any stuff particularly. So we have to develop first standardized information service so that a brand can manage well and its image will not get hampered. Research studies are most important part. From start to end of any brand management, this is an ongoing process, research studies. Because the number of times you research, you will definitely get something. As far as concerned, why we do the research, definitely not for something. Something comes in the form of negative or the positive, but a resistance can't be a zero. It should be always a negative or in terms of positive only. It can't be zero. So definitely we look out where the pros and cons. We have to look out. So on that basis, we are able to develop our positioning also. That what buyer are looking for and how betterly we are able to provide them in improvised manner. Then last but not the least, financial analysis. Financial analysis, the very important part. To develop anything, for all these things like product cycle, grid analysis, positioning, extension information services, research studies, we need the money. Definitely, we put something in the market in terms of money, which reflects in the terms of brand. So these financial analysis is very important parameter for anything. If we develop something and we are not get profited, so the things are not worth for any, because we all are humans and we are greedy at some level, at different level on their own. We are looking for own ourselves. So everyone is looking for their own self. And financial thing, the money is very important prospect for everyone. So definitely after doing all such thing, we look out how much we are getting benefited being a seller or being a developer through this brand. Definitely brand develops some equity. It is having some intangible, tangible assets. Intangible in the form of social economic forms, that image, like if I tell you a reason, particularly a case of Ozone Pharma. So there is one brand, if you know, DFO gel, painkiller gel particularly. So they developed this particular brand. They have around a monthly movement of around 15 to 16 CR in terms of rupees for the DFO gel. And later on, they were thinking that we should sell it out and come with something different. DFO gel definitely have the equity in the market in terms of intangible and tangible assets. So being an average, if you see on an annual basis, the DFO gel having a total value of rupees around 50 to 60 crores. But if we are able to evaluate their proper value to sell someone as an entire brand, it will come more than 100 crore. Why? Because we already laid some stocks in the market. They have something, the presentation. It is very well recognized brand. It automatically gets run without doing anything on that manner, because the things are already laid. Their foundations are strong on that manner. Through this, we will able to get the money to the financial basis. So brand is very much important in terms where we require for profit for ourselves. As far as concerned for the customers or the buyers, what they are looking for, to make them ease to understand what they are looking for. Okay. So everything in entire segment definitely backed by the financial support. Now move a little bit towards the, if you see the pharma domain, that what is the requirement of a doctor or a customer from the pharma perspective. It is a common general layman. So requirement of a doctor arises out of his and her, the need essential predominantly controlled by the PMT. Why PMT or the product management or brand management is required? Because they laid the foundation. They have the vision particularly. They give the vision to the rest departments that what they have to do particularly. Where we are looking for, what we are looking for, the need essential, and for the customers' concerns also. Desire, non-essential as a sales role. Definitely Why it is non-essential? Because when we develop something, you can still check the thing through the digital platforms. Like right now, Amazon, Flipkart, they don't have any uh, sales force, particularly a manual sales force. They're selling digitally everything through their platform, through their strategies,
Hello, hello, hello.
through their strategies. Okay, so that is a need, basically. That is needed thing which PMT gives to the customer as a promise. Now, next, desire, non-essential, as I told you, sales role, particularly. You know very well, there is no such person in particularly in the sales force in any pharma company who sustained so much, like for years or years. They are looking for the quick changes to grow themselves. So, the customer which we are focusing, they know about the company first. A doctor always remember about the company rather to a salesperson, that what company is, what they are giving, which promise associated with their brand. If person is there or not, they will support their brand. So that is a desire, but being a non-essential. And desire a conditionally essential sales role. That is what means it comes on their years or years work, how they are associated with their customer, the salesperson. Conditionally means what? They are so much emotionally connect with the brand also and with the person. So definitely they will support unconditionally. A doctor or a customer support unconditionally with this prospect, which having a connect, a emotional connect with the customer of a salesperson along with the brand. Okay. So these are the kind of requirement of a doctor, basically what they are looking in, and who basically furbish these things. So PMT person or salesperson, basically a product management and salesperson. Salesperson means it is a kind of a messenger, particularly who will carry the things of a product management team towards the customer. That what brand they are looking for, what they have to deliver, what is the promise, and how we can support them. Now, if you see what is the need, basically information for anything, if you wanted to connect with your customer, if you say the doctor or the patient or anyone, so definitely there is a basic line of attachment, that is information, print. So in normally strategy, a basic strategy always involve information in terms of print. Right now, a digital media also comes in the market. So information is provided to give justification, confirmation to his prescription, RX. That is a need of doctor, basically. Product knowledge, definitely. And product knowledge contains of a content, features, what is it is containing, differentiation, how the product is being different from our brand, and our brand is different from the product. What is the differentiation? How we are better? What we are promising? And the content, basically the features, basically, so that a doctor itself create an image for this particular brand in their mind. So this brand gives that much amount of promise to me and delivers it. Need of the product, not brand, but in the segment. Means why we required this particular brand or product within the segment. Like I am handling particularly a ortho segment, a products of ortho range. We have gynae segment also. The number of segments in market itself, the number of companies have like gynae, respiratory, oncology. So definitely not a single brand within the segment. They have number of brands within the segment. And how we have to approach to our customers and what we are looking for. And the important thing, how we able to know that what our customers required, that required a survey actually, a data analysis. A data analysis which most of the pharma companies are using is IQVIA IMS. It is a third agency which gives you the medical audit or the brand audit, that which molecule, which brands, which specialties are performing well, or basically you can say how it is performing from top to bottom, particularly in that manner. So they will give the entire data at all India level, at regional level, so that if you want to launch any brand or if you want to study about this, so you could able to understand that where we have to launch, why we have to launch, where the market is flowing and get trend, how the market is trending, which brands are get elevated, which gets down particularly, what is our strength, so that we can matches with the market. Okay. So definitely need of the product within the segment for the expansion, for the profits, for the benefits, and for the future aspects. Because every brand or product has their life cycle. It will get diminished after some time. On that note, we have to develop something new. Okay. Brand knowledge, basic information, like it is required, why we are come with this brand, source of information, what is the source, why, what thing we are delivering this particular brand, how it is being derived, differentiation factor if any, content, pack, cost, taste, benefits, same or may not be. Maybe you know that the number of products or the brands in the market, but they differentiate, like Eno itself, you can say effervescent powder, a bicarbonate powder. Basically, you can see they normally comes in lemon flavor, then it moves to cola flavor, then it moves to some other orange flavor, then it moves to mango flavor by some other companies like Mankind from GSK to others. So how they are differentiating their brand, that what we are giving, definitely they have a set of customers. Not everyone like this mango flavor or orange flavor. So they're looking for that we can able to enter in this particular set of customers through this brand, so that we can easily capture the market for this. And later on, no one sits hamper on that. Cost, definitely pack, cost is, these are the major important factors for any brand or any product for this particular thing. Comparative knowledge, justification for your brand over others, that how our brand is better than any other else, and that can be justified not apart from quality but also from the knowledge or the information which we are sharing with our customer. Advantages over other and credible evidence. What we cover, the credible evidence, like clinical studies we have a huge base of acceptance across the big institutions, medical institution, by the key opinion leaders in the market, what they are saying about the brands particularly. So these are the credible evidence and the need of brand in the segment. Why we require this brand in the segment, why we come up with this in the market. Definitely they have the business aspect on the other side, and on the other hand they have the buyer's perceptions. What makes a brand strong? A strong brand is a major driver of shareholder value. A strong brand is like an asset. It can be used as collateral for financial loans, buying and selling as an asset. As I told you earlier, the strong brand become an asset. It gives value to the company or to firm, which become an asset for them, so that they can have something in their hand. On that behalf, they can able to take loans or buying or selling through any asset. A strong brand has strong attributes. values, personality that consumers associate with the brand. A strong brand is a means of attaining higher customer loyalty. That is the what is the part which promise develops from the customer. A strong brand is a means of attaining higher customer loyalty. And later on, these customer itself become an advocate for these brands and being influential for this particular brand and make them aware others. A strong brand always delivers the benefit that customers truly desire. A strong brand use, make of, and coordinates full range of marketing activities to build equities. Definitely, we have to coordinate and use a full range of marketing activities. That what we can do in terms of information, in terms of research, in terms of study, in terms of quality, in terms of trust, in terms of quick responses, so that we can able to develop a brand which later on develops to build the equity. A strong brand has right blend of product, quality, design, feature, cost, and prices. This is the basic thing for any strong brand, with the right blend of product quality, design, what are the features they have, cost, it is beneficial, and the prices. On that note, what we are giving. A strong brand is properly positioned and occupies a particular niche in customers' mind. Definitely, as I told you earlier, that positioning which is being developed by the buyer, that what they are looking for, the need, the indication, particularly the thing for that, when it is positioned properly, so it will automatically occupies a space in the customer's mind automatically. Like in today's world, if somebody is suffering from fever, so definitely automatically a doctor prescribes Dolo without thinking that much, because there again and again persistence of their persons of this Dolo brand will develop something or create a space in the customer's mind. So whenever these things of this particular indication, this brand reflects in their mind for this particular indication. The strong brand compels consumers to willing pay a substantial, consistent premium price for the brand versus competing product and services. Definitely, if your brand is even of higher prices than any other generic or any other product, a customer will go to this, even on higher or premium prices. Because the only thing that we are giving the promise, what we are saying in terms of intangible set, they are taking or it as an emotional connect or social way. So definitely a promise makes a buyer so that they can able to purchase on the premium prices competing to any other product or services, so that we are willing to pay that price. Now product market expansion rate, if you see, like how we still surviving with the products, it will grow normally, everything will happen on a great note, but how we are able to expand it on that note. So if you have existing products and existing markets, so we have to do the market penetration only. Means still we are working in metro, we move to tier 1, we move to tier 2, tier 3, rural areas like this. So we have to penetrate more and more on this. If we are working on the existing set of segment, existing market, even market is not expanding and product is still not doing on that sense. Okay. Like if you see next, existing market and new product, means market is still having not such happening, but a company is thinking for to develop some product, a new product looking for to get expansion within the segment. So this thing will lead to product development. At that level or that situation, we have to think about we have to develop this product, start initiated product to the research, to surveys, to market analysis, then we have to develop in this method. Next great part is existing product and new products. Products is already existing in nature. We don't have any such new product, but market is new. So here you can say the market is developing. We require the market development. We can take the things through market development. How the market is developing, we have to expand ourselves. Last is that new market and new product. That is called diversification. Like in today's scenario, some new specialty comes in the market. It comes with the new brand also, which is still nobody knows. So that is called the diversification in that sense. We have to work on the diversification. So these are the 4 things where we have to expand our grid of the market and the product. Market penetration, product development, market development, and diversification. In this bit we are evolving. Now comes to the challenges. What are the challenges in current scenario? What we faced as during the brand management, internal external forces created hurdles for the product or brand manager in their brand building initiative. Definitely we have to face the hurdles as internal or external forces. As far as concerned, internal, definitely financial things is the major concern for our, if you talk about the internal hurdles, and how much we are equipped within ourselves. So definitely this is a thing which makes as an internal challenge to manage the brand, to manage this particular brand. Now comes to external forces. What are the external forces? So if you see, external forces is what? The market, the threats. How competitive is the market? How the market is fragmented? How the customers are targeted? Either we have that strength or not, particularly to target or handle that type of customers. What the customers are looking for. Either we are delivering the proper channelized information or resources to them. So one of them, you can see the intense price as a club and other competitive pressures. Pricing right now is very important challenge in today's scenario. As you can see, I worked in Janaushadhi also for the customer engagement program. So pricing is very important part for them. We tried customers or the doctors to understand why the things what we are delivering is better than any other product or the generics or any other brands. That is very important thing, because everyone is thinking for their own benefits in terms of money, definitely. So that is very important part. Bias against innovation means something get innovated, but definitely they are not delivering the proper promise. Okay, or the market or the consumers is biased towards using some existing products or brands, or either they have the trust already which was created by the rest competitors, so that they are not able to cope up with the things or don't want to listen particularly on that manner. Pressure to invest elsewhere. Definitely, if something in a brand management for any particular brand, if you're not able to do properly or not able to get the returns, so a pressure automatically created. You have to shift your budget or basically the financial things to somewhere else, which gives better output than the current one. Market fragmentation. How the market is fragmented in particular segment. Like somewhere we are focusing towards a particular specialty in ortho or gyne, but the product is used somewhere else, maybe misused or maybe irregular used on that manner. Okay? And not about only the thing, the fragmentation is the important thing, segmentation, but the most important thing in the fragmentation is what kind of customers are fitted in this particular area. Either they were matches with our current situation or not. That is a big challenge for us. Monotony in the information. Definitely, if we are not going to expand our information and not going to elaborate on the information for this particular, for any brand, so we're not able to get the growth. We are not able to manage the brand well. A monotony makes a customer being not so much attached, particularly in that manner. So basically, it not gives the versatility also. So it is being a challenge. We have to change or basically elaborate our information on a rigorous basis. Monotony in the medium. Definitely, we not able to go through a single way. We have to use the multiple approaches to reach out the customer. That is very important thing. Otherwise, we miss somewhere our potential. Segment challenge within them. Like if you are working in nephrology, for example, so it is kind of segment which is very small in terms of specialty. But in terms of business, it is very big compared to any other segment. So it is a segment challenge itself. We can't able to expand that much because of restrictions, and that it is a limited number of, you can say, the customers, so that we can expose up to a limit. And why it has become a challenge? Because there are a number of competitors also within that segment. That is a segment challenge. We also not able to indulge any other product apart from super specialty. Like we can go for the only nephro specialty products, not such any kind of other thing like painkiller, antioxidant, and so on. It's not being recommended by the super specialty at a good level. So dependency on the communication effectiveness and miscommunication, very important part. During a delivery of a brand, the only thing is communication in terms of promise we are giving them. As much as clear we are communicating to our customers, they create the belief on us. So definitely, communication effectiveness is very important. Like if we pass some communication to the ground baseline, there are the 4 hierarchies. From first to last till the end customer point, the communication definitely somehow changes in terms of deliverables. Not in terms of print, but in terms of deliverables verbally. So we have to be very much assured about this, that the deliverables should be assured and correct from first to end point user. Over dependency on the execution. Definitely. In the brand management, the product owners or the brand owners only able to develop the strategy. They can tell you about how you have to proceed. But the implementation is a part of down the line, the sales force particularly. If they are not executing well on any brand performance, so the brand will get hampered. Definitely. The customer will not going to engage on a long term. So execution or implementation is very important part apart from any other thing. Like for example, if you see, I earlier told you example of Dex Orange, iron syrup from Franco India. They are not having such good strategy in terms of what they are doing for the customers. But they are executing well through their supply chains, through their availabilities, through their connect. They are not promoting in a rigorous manner. but they are working on their channel system. So they are implementing well their things or executing, but well. Now last part is logistic, supply chain management. It is very important part. If you know, during this COVID pandemic, there is one brand of Apex, Zincovit. Zincovit is a brand, is a good story about Zincovit. Earlier, it is not that much contributing to the company. It's hardly giving 20 to 25 CR. But during this COVID pandemic, it become a master in this for particularly a zinc component product, if you say, Zincovit. It comes up to nearly more than 200, 300 crores on an annual basis during this COVID pandemic. So at that time, logistics is very important part because everyone knows about the name Zincovit. They automatically comes up to the retailers, to the doctors, to the patients, everyone. It is very easy. These things will make them the brand. On a real note, if I tell you, the zinc quantity which is required during COVID pandemic is not as actual as told by the government agencies. Even other brands like A to Z of Elchem, they having a proper quantity of zinc in their brand. But they are not able to get so much of acceptance from the market. Only Zincovit able to get the acceptance from the market because of their name only. Okay. And these things will face by the logistics because definitely Zincovit never think of that. Okay, I will able to get so much of reach or the acceptance from the market. So they have to face the hurdles in number of things in the supply chains, in the product management, in the supply, product manufacturing. So it will suffer. The customers will suffer. Customer now will move to some other brand. Now they will move to other rest generics or other brands which is available to the market. At that level, the retailers initiated their own monopoly. That what they have to require to sell, how they can brief their customers. So logistics is very important. If I'm looking for a brand and I'm not getting it, definitely I get annoyed. So promise always have numbers of things in them, not only a statement. From quality, trust to logistic to supply, delivery, everything. 7 deadly sins of brand management. So if you see, what are the deadly sins of brand management? Failure to fully understand the meaning of brand. Failure to live up to the brand promise. Failure to adequately support the brand. Failure to be the patient with the brand. Failure to adequately control the brand.